Hi Siri, shut up. No, I'm not gonna lie, there's something weird. There's something weird going on here. And it's true. It's so weird to talk in front of a camera. Like, there's just something, I can't do it. Hello everybody. I had such a good idea before I hopped into the shower to describe to you what has been the last few days. And I had this whole like speech planned in my head, and I've already described this to a few people as well. So the speech is pretty fresh, but for some reason I turned the camera on and she's gone. One thing about the speech is she's gonna leave when the cameras are on. Yeah, it's true. I am just recovering from COVID. I had it, I would say, for the past week, and I'm like 90% better. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't really have a cough. Most of my symptoms are gone. If anything, I have just a headache and a profound sense of clarity, which I will be explaining shortly. I don't know how I got COVID, but I developed a couple symptoms, and she got me good, guys. She really did a number on me, and when she got to me, she was like, you know what? I need to remind these girls I need to perform. And one thing she did, it was perform, and it was rough. I had a really rough weekend, and it was just not cute, right? And I want to say around like the 50% of me getting better mark, I decided to do a couple tasks, because I don't know if you've had it, Mr. or Mrs. Viewer, or just viewer. I feel like it's such a rapid, like, you'll feel absolutely like an abomination. You'll feel a little better, and you'll take that opportunity to go maybe like do something productive for yourself, but then you'll feel bad again. And in those waves of clarity, I was like, you know what? I need to do my chores. Like, I need to feed myself. I need to take care of myself, because it was crippling, okay? And then there was this one particular chore when I was around like 50% better, so like 4 days in, or 5. And I was cleaning my tub. Something about my tub was nasty, and I was like, I need to clean my tub. And I just had like the most, I don't know, I'm gonna sound like an absolute loony. Guys, there were no shrooms involved in the making, okay? But I was cleaning my tub, and I just had the most profound experience. And I was listening to the song, and the song was just like hitting, and I was cleaning the tub, and I just felt like everything that has happened up until this point in my life makes sense. And everything that is going to make sense in the future already does. And there is no room for judgment in here, or for anybody else. The thoughts are only positive thoughts. And this feeling has not left me. It's been a couple days now, and I am in the same place I was mentally when I was cleaning the tub. And I don't know, I don't know how to describe. Oh my God, am I getting emotional? So I'm back, hello. As you can tell, this is a different day. I think I needed to step away from the last scene because I need to formulate my thoughts better, right? Because I'm not about to just talk nonsense as I usually do. Not about this topic. So the last place we left off was when I had realized something suspicious was going on after cleaning the bathtub. An awakening of sorts. And the next day, I was, sitting. It was in the evening. I was in my apartment. I was watching a Rosalia 1-hour interview, as one does. And it was her describing and explaining her new Motomami album. I am a Motomami, so I was watching, right? I also bought concert tickets. I'm very excited. Didn't like the album at first, but now I'm stan. I went from a fan to a stan. And as I'm watching this interview, and the way Rosalia is just like speaking to the interviewer and talking about her process, I was like, I really need to be like Rosalia. And I don't mean Spanish flamenco pop diva who sings like hyper pop reggaeton songs. I mean an artist, like a creative. Like, I feel really compelled to be a creative. And this is not surprising to some of you, because I've always wanted to be a creative or to work in some form of like artistic field. But this is different, guys. This is like a need. Like, this is so compelled, I need to quit my job immediately and become a starving artist kind of feeling, right? It's like, I have to do this like immediately, super inspired. I was like, this is kind of weird. This is resembling the experience of the bathtub, the awakening. Oh my God, I need to stop calling it that. I was like, oh, whatever. Didn't think too much of it, right? I was like, this is happening, whatever. And I then proceed to go on a walk. And I'm walking, and we should have known there were weird shenanigans going on because I didn't have music for some parts of the walk. And that's already like unheard of for me. And I was just listening to the surrounding environment. And it sounded so ambient. Like the sounds of like kids playing in the background, or like cars passing by, and like the visuals, something about the visuals, like the sky was in fact blue and the trees were in fact swaying. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. I just felt so present with the views. And then when I did put the music on, wild. Okay, just like absolute scenes. And I was like, another weird day in the life of Ray. And so I get home, and this is the next day again, and I'm just like doing my task, and I'm just like living my life, and I'm cooking, and I'm sitting on my couch and I'm looking out the window, or I'm eating, or I'm just like, I don't know, talking to someone. And it feels so insanely present. Like, I don't know how else to describe this. It just feels like I'm really there. That's when it started occurring to me. I was like, I'm still in that same headspace. Like, nothing has changed. Like, I'm still there. I feel very present. And I think the most bizarre one out of all of them was just like things that normally bothered me didn't really bother me as much. And the only way I can explain this is I would still feel things, obviously. So like if I had, like, let's say I had a negative emotion, like let's say I was angry, or let's say a wave of anxiety was coming in, right? I feel like normally I would really let it consume me, and I would get into my head and just get stuck with it for a while, and it would really like affect me. Whereas now, it's not that I don't feel them, like they still come, but they come and they, for a brief moment, they are acknowledged, and then I can just look around my surrounding environment and like really notice things and be present with them and just like not get lost in my thoughts. And then the feeling passes and I don't even remember that it happened. And that, ladies and gentlemen, wow, yeah, it's excellent. I sound like I'm absolutely crazy, guys, but I'm just sharing my experience and you're getting a story time out of this. So you're crazy for not enjoying this if you aren't. I guess the gaslighting is still here. Gaslighting has not left. And now, I could go on and on, but I really think if you thought we weren't gonna investigate, figure out what is happening and how, you were wrong. You were absolutely wrong. Sound off in the comments if you think you have an idea as to what is going on. I have a couple suspicions. I thought I had truly exited the simulation. I was like, yeah, Elon Musk, he didn't get me. Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, he didn't get me. But then I looked back at my screen time, and not only was it super bad, it was worse when I was sick. Because I thought I was maybe like too sick to go on social media and like be overstimulated and get like lost in the sauce, but clearly I still was. So it couldn't be that. Another theory I have is that when I tell you I was so sick, like Miss Rona, she really did a number on me. It was crazy. I was so sick that I couldn't necessarily fall asleep, but I also couldn't be awake, if you know what I mean. Like there was too much pain and like suffering happening to experience either state, so I was kind of stuck in the middle. And without any distraction or anything else but really feeling time pass by, and I mean really feeling time pass by, there was a leak in the pipes, right? The sewage system, like the emotional drainage system, was clogged up. And I felt like there were things I wasn't allowing myself to feel that decided to come out in this moment. And when I mean come out, like they really came strong. And I felt like I was in the worst headspace I've ever been in a long time. As Florence the Machine once said, it is always darkest before the dawn. So like before I had the spiritual bathtub awakening, I was in the worst headspace ever. Super negative, just going through emotions and feelings that I really had to go through and really didn't want to, but ultimately were good for me coming out the other end. So that could potentially be why I feel so good. Another one is maybe I was just so sick and like in the fucking gutter that obviously life is gonna feel phenomenal after, because my manager calls this the Delta effect, and I know, cringe, I can't believe I told my manager about this, but it happened. He was like, maybe you just felt so shit that life could only get better after you got better. And I was like, this does seem logical, but it's not as dramatic, so we're not accepting it. We're saying no. And maybe, honestly, I just took too much Tylenol. I don't think I did, though. I think the bathtub was just speaking to me. Yeah. So for all my Arabs out there, this is what I was using to clean my bathtub. And when I was telling the story to a couple other people, they were like, it's because of this. Like, you probably inhaled this while cleaning the bathtub. You choose to believe that, okay? Now, we could speculate all day. We could be wondering how. We could investigate. We could research. However, let me tell you why this is so important. We're getting emotional. And I think this is why I had to stop the last clip, because I hadn't formed my thoughts and I was getting emotional thinking about it. But about 6 months into the pandemic, it was around like the third wave. It was like October time when people were like, this is serious.
This is serious stuff.
I feel like I had this wave where I kind of just like lost my personality. Like she kind of just like exited the chat. She like booted herself out. What I mean by that is I feel like things that I used to laugh at, I didn't laugh anymore, which was already really concerning. And like there was this lack of drive and this abundance of numbness. If experiences felt like the default was 100%, I felt like someone put a muffler and it was like, now I feel everything at 20%, which is not fun. Nobody likes that, nobody wants that, it's not cute. And it felt like ass. It came very suddenly, but it also lingered and it would cross my mind. I was like, I really don't feel like the Ray I used to be. And I know that sounds super meta and stupid, but I feel like some of you can relate. I just like wasn't as passionate about things. I knew I wasn't being my best self in a lot of areas of my life, and it just didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. I don't know how else to describe it. I was lost in the sauce. I feel like a lot of the things that also brought me joy suddenly just like felt numb. And that's not great. And I was kind of scared. I thought I was aging. It's like maybe this is just aging. Maybe this is adulthood. Maybe this is I'm just too addicted to social media. Like I just couldn't tell what it was. And I was really worried it wouldn't come back. It's like maybe this is just the way it is. Maybe this is how I am now. Maybe I don't have access to that person anymore. Ever since I cleaned the bathtub, I felt like the old me. Like I feel like I don't even want to say it's the old me because it's always been me, but I just feel like he's been not here. And I feel like I have access to him again. And I remember what it's like. And aside from just like being clear-headed and like patient and mindful, as I've been describing this whole video, I also feel really nostalgic. Like I'm remembering things that like have really shaped me and how I am. And I'm remembering them really positively. Whereas before, I kind of forgot they existed. Like certain memories or certain experiences or certain feelings. And that's kind of why in the beginning of the video I said everything up until that point in my life makes sense now. That's really what I felt like when I was cleaning the tub. And now, if I haven't already lost you because I literally sound like a lunatic, I think the reason I'm making this video is because this story is fucking funny and it is wild, right? Like how could you not share this? But the second reason is if you've somehow experienced this too during the pandemic, or if you feel like you've lost yourself or your personality, I think this is like a nice reminder that it will return. I know a huge fear of mine was, oh, I'm just never gonna be the way I was. I'm no longer passionate about things. The numbness has taken over and I thought it was like pretty obsolete, and I guess this is your sign that it isn't. So yeah, that's all. Bye.